Coach Paul Shaheen from Channel 6 in town.
Paul, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you and welcome. In considering this job, you said there's only a select few that you would actually look at. Considering your background with working with post players and recruiting so much, and looking at who we've lost and what we need to work with, how much of a role did that play?
Well, when I did watch film, I think I need to learn a little bit more about our 5 position because Natalie, when you watch film, Natalie was in the game most of the time. So I think I got to get a really good feel for the 1 through 4 positions, and even some depth at those positions. And I think 1 through 4 they're very solid. I think you have Michelle who shoots the 3 almost 41% from the 3-point line. You've got the other point guards who can shoot the 3 with right around 35%. So I think I did my homework. And in the position of the 5 is something we'll address when practice starts and with recruiting. But at the same time, the motion offense, it's not as such that you need your big 6'3", 6'4", back-to-the-basket player. The people that are more well-suited for it are people built like Michelle. 6'1", 6'2", can face the basket, can set a screen, can move, and can shoot the 3. So it's going to be, how do you solve that problem? Well, we're going to do it through a group effort. If we have one weakness in one position, we're going to step up in every other possession and compensate for it. And I think from what I've seen and heard about Verity, I think Verity is going to turn out to be a good post player. I've heard a lot of great things, and I'm excited about her, and I'm excited about Kara, and I'm excited about the incoming freshman, Jenny Guterin. So.
Hey, Coach, Trevor with Channel 8.
Hi, Trevor. How you doing?
Hey, what do you want the personality of this team to be like when other teams around the Big Sky Conference are talking about Idaho State? What do you want the other coaches to be saying about your team?
Well, I want them to think, wow, here we go with Idaho State. This is going to be a tough one. I think, if anything, I want our team to have some toughness, and I want us to have some discipline. Every day we practice. Everything that we do, we're not preparing to come in second place. We're preparing to do something greater than that. And it's not just what we do in practice. It's how we recruit. It's how we approach every game. It's what we do during the game. It's what we do in the classroom. We are striving for excellence.
Coach Kelvin Ang, Idaho State Journal.
Hi, Kelvin. How you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you. What are your plans in terms of filling out your coaching staff?
I have some people in mind already, and I'm finalizing that right now. Obviously, I shouldn't share any names, but I have 2 positions open. We've got the first assistant position open, and I've offered that to a veteran Division I assistant who's familiar with recruiting in this area and on the West Coast and a little bit in the Midwest. We have Jordan at the second position, Jordan Green, which I'm actually very excited about. He seems like a great, hard-working young guy. I think he's going to help with the transition, and I'm excited to work with him. And then in the third position, I have another person in mind who was a great player, who is excited about becoming a coach, anxious to start her coaching career. So I'm trying to solidify that third spot.
Do you have a rough timetable for when everything's going to fall in place?
As soon as possible. I'm trying to tighten the screws right now on people to get things moving as quickly as possible.
Coach Dan Thompson from the Idaho State Journal.
Hi, Dan. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
With that assistant question, what's your strategy in filling out a staff? Is it to get people like you? Is it to get people who compliment you?
Well, I think for me personally, and I think a lot of head coaches will tell you this too, it's all about loyalty at first. I'm willing to work with somebody who has some weaknesses as long as they're loyal and there's someone I can trust, and also someone who's going to work their butt off. It's funny how much hard work can compensate for a lack of talent or just a lack of knowledge about something. But then I think on top of that, if you have the luxury of doing this, you want to hire somebody who can fill in some of your own weaknesses. some of the things that you might not have as much experience with.
What do you think those are for you?
Well, I've been asked that question a few times. I've had to think about that. My weaknesses as a coach is, there's been periods of my life where I didn't have very good balance. I was very obsessed with my job, and I've talked to Nancy about this, and Nancy I've had long discussions about this. But I had my stretch of time where I had my obsession years, and that's what I refer to them as. And but I think it's good and it's bad. I mean, it's bad because you need to have that balance in your life with your family. But I think it's good that I think in order to get really good at something, I think you have to be obsessed with it for a little while. And there was about a 3, maybe 4 year period where I was, pretty obsessed, but with basketball. But I think some of my other weaknesses, maybe just familiarity with the Pocatello area. And again, that's where Jordan becomes a big help. Yeah.
Coach Kellis Rubin from the Idaho State Journal.
What'd you say, your cousin? Kellis? Okay, nice to meet you.
I guess my question, being from a place like Flagstaff, the Big Sky, how familiar you are with the Big Sky? Do you know like the men's travel schedule and everything that goes into it?
The which travel schedule? The men's travel schedule?
No, the men's.
Oh, you men's travel schedule. Being a manager at Northern Arizona for a year, and then also attending school there and growing up in Flagstaff, you start to get a feel for it that way. At UC Riverside, we've played almost the entire Big Sky Conference. We played Eastern Washington, Portland State, Montana State, Northern Arizona twice. We never played Idaho State or Montana or Weber, but we have some familiarity with it. My head coach at UC Riverside, John Margaritas, coached in the Big Sky Conference at Northern Arizona for 8 years. And he and I have had extensive conversations about what the travel is like and how difficult it can be, because you're gonna potentially, say you're going to Northern Arizona, you're gonna drive for 2 hours, get on a plane, land somewhere, drive another 2 hours, and then finally get to your destination. So I understand that. Some of the things I'm concerned about is obviously school. The girls missing that much school. I'm going to make sure that we are doing what we need to do on the road to take care of our academics, but at the same time not losing focus of why we've made this long trip. We were going somewhere to win, and so I am familiar with Big Sky.